Hello. Welcome to the Town of Grange Planning Board meeting, April 16th, 2026. The next submission deadline is April 30th, 2026 by noon. I'll repeat that. The next submission deadline is April 30th, 2026 by noon. Our next regular meeting is May 21st, 2026. I'd like to call our meeting to order. Let's do the acceptance of the previous meeting's minutes. Is there any corrections or comments from anyone?
No.
Good. Motion to accept?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Before we get to the public hearings tonight, I'm going to read into the record a letter regarding the LaGrange Town Center. Last Wednesday, I was here for a 2.5-hour battery storage meeting, and I talked to Chief Champion. This Tuesday, I talked to Kelly Leibold, who represents KRC Planning Consultants, who represents the LaGrange Town Center. This letter covers a lot of subjects that the public's been asking about, and I want it read into the record. Dear Chairman Aldrich and members of the Planning Board, we are writing this letter to you to update you as to the status of the LaGrange Town Center response to public hearing comments. As a reminder, the Town of LaGrange held a public hearing regarding this project on December 10th, 2025. Several fire district representatives spoke at the public hearing, including the district's retained attorney from the law firm of Brown and Weinrob, a law firm promoted on Google as New York's top lobbying firm. At the public hearing, the fire district raised issues regarding a report that they have been unable to produce despite the applicant's repeated request. The fire district also continues to present questions which were raised in 2009 and subsequently answered by the applicant and addressed by this very board in 2022. Status of LaGrange Town Center submission to Planning Board responding to public comments. Initially, we wish to dispel any rumor notions that may have arisen regarding recent fire district representations asserting or implying that the applicant has delayed in filing formal responses to its comments, and that this delay is somehow evidence of the merit of the fire district's criticisms of the project and supports the district's efforts to impose extremely large financial exactions on the applicant. The fundamental reason that our responses to the public hearing comments have not yet been submitted is that, one, our goal has been to submit a comprehensive response to all comments, and number two, we have been unable to obtain key information on one of the fire district's main assertions, that the LaGrange Town Center project will have major impacts on the town's ISO rating. Now, ISO, so those of you that don't know, is Insurance Services Office. It evaluates fire protection for communities and then assigns a public protection classification, the class rating 1, which would be very good, to 10, which would be the worst. Let's see here. That the LaGrange Town Center project will have major impacts on the town's ISO rating. At the public hearing, the fire district posed the following question. How will the project affect the ISO rating in the town, and how will it affect taxpayers of LaGrange? The ISO rating and its underlying information is not publicly available, although it is readily available to the fire district. The applicant has repeatedly requested the ISO report from the fire district, the only known source of this critical information. The applicant, myself specifically, has made multiple documented attempts to obtain this information. My first communication with the chief was on February 18, 2026, when we spoke on the phone regarding the applicant's need for the ISO report to address the fire district comments. As discussed on the phone, I followed up with the chief in an email dated February 18, 2026, which stated the following. Chief, thank you for speaking to me. Below is my contact information if you need to reach me for any reason. In the meantime, Could you forward a copy of your most recent ISO rating, ISO report, so that we are able to reply to your comments on the Town Center project? Thank you for your help with this request. After no response from the chief, I followed up again with an email on February 20th, 2026, asking for confirmation of receipt of the email I had sent on February 18th, 2026, and a response. On February 23rd, 2026, the chief replied with the following. Good morning. I can confirm receipt of your email. In reviewing paper documents, the last time we received ISO-related paperwork was for an exercise done in the 2017 to 2019 timeframe. A letter I have come across showed the Fire District, Town of Grange, and Dutchess County Department of Emergency Response working together to provide information and receive an update. The town representative noted was Wanda Levine. I am looking through files for the ISO report. Thank you, Anthony. After having no success in our attempts to informally request the needed report, we submitted a formal letter to the chief dated February 25th, 2026, which stated the following. Dear Chief Champion, we are writing in follow-up to your comments regarding the LaGrange Town Center project, specifically your question as to how the proposed development may affect the town's ISO rating and in turn the potential impact on taxpayers. In order to provide a complete response, we respectfully request a copy of the fire department's most recent ISO report, all supporting materials and any mapping illustrating boundaries of the rated areas. Without access to the most recent ISO evaluation, including the specific criteria, scoring components, and any noted deficiencies or recommendations, we are unable to meaningfully assess or respond to your questions regarding potential impacts to the town's rating or to the taxpayers. Our intent is to respond substantively and transparently. However, doing so requires review of the underlying ISO documentation. If you have difficulty locating the ISO report in your files, ISO reports can be ordered through ISO/VRSIC through their website linked to your VRSIC or by calling their customer service number at 1-800-444-4554 and selecting the PPC option. A copy of the ISO report and supporting materials, including any mapping showing the boundaries of rated areas, will aid us in answering the fire department's concerns that were raised during LaGrange Town Center public hearing. We appreciate your cooperation and look forward to continuing to work collaboratively to address the department's concerns. To date, this formal written request remains unanswered. These efforts demonstrate the applicant's clear, good faith attempt to obtain the information necessary to respond. That effort has been met with no production. As a result, the applicant is being asked to respond to a technical issue while being denied access to the underlying data relied upon by the fire department in asserting the claim. At the same time, the fire department is capitalizing on the so-called delay to enhance its economic and regulatory position. This is not a reasonable, workable position. Anticipated submission date to Planning Board in April 2026. Having failed to receive the ISO documentation from the fire district, the applicant has no choice but to proceed without this information. We will provide our responses to the Planning Board in the next few weeks. The upcoming submission will request that, based on the refusal of the fire district to disclose the ISO information requested, the Planning Board refused to consider any district related to ISO levels in the review. The Planning Board has already addressed the fire district's claims and rejected them. The fire district and its retained attorneys presented their claims at the public hearing as if they were new and unresolved. To the contrary, the Planning Board's records show that the claims were previously raised, addressed, and determined by this very board as part of the extensive seeker review of this project. As you well know, the applicant is now before the Planning Board for its substantive approvals for site plan subdivision, a wetland permit, and several special permits for individual buildings. The seeker review process ended in 2022. However, the fire district continues to raise the same claims that were rejected in the seeker review process. See seeker findings of June 23rd, 2022, pages 39 to 40. The Planning Board seeker findings summarize the relevant facts of the project, including a maximum height of 3 stories in the project, the nature of mutual aid agreements, the fact that some buildings will be sprinklered. Note, the applicant has since expanded its sprinkler program and is now proposing to have sprinklers in all buildings located in the town center business portion of the project, including the townhouses / 4-plexes. The finding also determined that the project will provide substantial improvements for the benefit of the fire district, including a through route from Lauer Road to 55, the provision to the fire district without cost of a site for an emergency services building, the proposed installation of new fire hydrants approximately 500 feet intervals, the revision of the plans to facilitate circulation of fire vehicles through the site, and the taxes to be paid, which at the time of the 2021 letter were estimated to be approximately $1.4 million per year at total build-out. The Planning Board's seeker findings did not find that provision of an aerial truck, a new firehouse, additional staffing, etc., was required mitigation or in any other way appropriately to be required from the applicant. Conclusion. We remain excited about the Town of LaGrange Town Center project and look forward to concluding the project's administrative permit review with the Town of LaGrange Planning Board. LaGrange Town Center will bring much needed housing and new commercial tax base / jobs to the Town of LaGrange and will assist in bringing the town's comprehensive planning for a town center to fruition. Thank you, Kelly Leibel. I was not going to read this letter into the record, but after enough people have asked me, where are the responses to the town center's public comments? I thought it was appropriate that the public know what's in this letter, and this is where we're at. So with that being said, we're going to move on to our first public hearing, 45 Vale Road, special use permit. Application for an accessory apartment located at 45 Vale Road in the residential flexible density RFD zoning district, 4.69 acres, grid number 6361-04-508329, applicant Robert Clements, MJ Engineering. Hello.
How are you?
If you want to give a brief presentation, you know.
Sure, what the project is?
Yes, so the public.
So currently we're building this garage here. It's 42 by 32. It has a living space above it, which includes 1 bedroom, a small kitchen, a living space, and 2 bathrooms. It's accessible either from the mudroom or when you pull in the garage, there'll be an elevator up to the 2nd level. We're currently insulating at this point.
Okay. And you have whatever you need, the cards and the...
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to read some ground rules. If you want to, you could sit down, take a break for a minute. All members of the public wishing to speak will have the opportunity to do so. Each speaker must come to the microphone, and we ask that you state your name and address for the record. All public comments and questions shall be directed to the board and not to the applicant. There will be no dialogue or back and forth between members of the public and the applicant. The applicant will need to respond to comments in writing to the satisfaction of the planning board. Comments and questions shall be respectful, on topic, and to the point. If a comment has already been stated, it will need to be addressed by the applicant. There's no need to repeat previous comments. All letters and emails submitted have been or will be shared with the planning board and be part of the official record. Motion to open the public hearing.
Motion.
Second?
Aye.
All in favor? Who got it?
Second.
Okay. Dennis or Steve?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
speak.
Just so, no, just so Sandy.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Is there anyone from the public who would like to comment on the 45 Vale Road special use permit?
Come on up, Joe.
I do have a question. Does the client have a building permit for an apartment? I don't understand why it's coming in front of the board for anything.
So my understanding is a building permit was issued. During the construction, it was discovered that there was going to be bath and kitchen facilities, thus making it an apartment, and they are here remedying that.
So it wasn't expressed at the time of the building permit for the garage?
I think the parties have different positions on that, but they're here to fix it.
Actually, Joe, the building permit was expiring 4/4/25. I remember.
I think it was extended, though, wasn't it?
No, when he came in, you could come up to the microphone. Yeah, I remember, I wrote notes here. This is the one, the building permit was going to expire.
Well, correct, it's since been extended, but these plans were submitted, and a building
Okay.
permit was issued, and then we were asked to submit for further.
We don't usually answer it right away, but...
No, understood, but yes, then the answer is simple.
Yes.
Yes, these plans were submitted.
Yes, there is a building permit.
Yes, there's a
Okay.
building permit for these exact plans.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else from the public who would like to comment on 45 Vale Road special use permit? Motion to close?
Motion.
Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, you can come on back up. Let's see here. So we can go over the approval of the special use permit.
Yes, would it assist the board if I took you through that document?
Sure.
Okay, so you do have, in anticipation that there would be minor public comments this evening, you do have a draft resolution that your planner has prepared for you. I won't go through the whereas clauses, as that's not necessary. Now therefore be it resolved, the planning board hereby grants special use permit approval for the application by Robert Clements, applicant/owner, for special use permit approvals at 45 Vale Road with grid number 6361-04-508329. And then there is a paragraph that the town of LaGrange Planning Board hereby grants special use permit approval subject to the following conditions. Are there any conditions the board wishes to include within?
No.
I don't. No.
Okay, so we will remove that be it further resolved paragraph and go to that upon payment of any and all fees due and any and all legal documents required, the map is to be reviewed by the town's professional staff for compliance, and if found satisfactory, may be endorsed by the chair as a final map. As you're aware, with the accessory apartments, the map is somewhat informal, but the phrase is still used in the resolution. Be it further resolved that the town's professional staff is hereby authorized to file any and all appropriate notices so that the intent of this resolution is carried out. And at this time, if there's no other comments or concerns, the board may move this for a vote.
Can you change the date on one of the whereas? It says March 19th.
That's the date that you designated it type 2, which you did do last month. So that date is correct. Classified it as a type 2 action under seeker.
Next one down?
That one you are correct. That should be April, what's today? The
16th.
16th.
Anybody else? Comments? Questions?
No.
You're good?
Not.
Good? All right, motion to approve the special use permit.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, you are all set.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was just writing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Next item on our agenda, regular business, 1144 Route 55 amended site plan, application for the installation of electric vehicle charging stations located in the Town Center Business TCB zoning district, 1.102 acres, grid number 6460-02-619920, owner MSFRE, New York, licensed professional, Wood Hollow Contracting Corp., MJ Engineering. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Is your mouse up there, or is your mouse up there?
Yes.
I might just have to turn it
Hello,
on.
everyone. I'm going to present, my name is Cam, I'm going to present the project. So we're trying to install 2 electrical...
Can you get a little closer to the, no, closer to the microphone?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
So we're... Oh, that's better. So we're going to install 2 electrical chargers for vehicles in the area. So that's our project right now. So this is the existing area that we have. It's a gas station. We are planning to locate the chargers in this area right here. There's a zoom in that you can see it. So it's 2 EV chargers, fast chargers, and we have the electrical equipment in this project. That's all that we can do. It is
Just for the record, this is the Valero gas station on 55, right in front of the, right across from the high school there.
Are these existing parking spots that are going to be utilized now as EV charging?
Yeah, there are existing parking lots in the area. So I was checking the notes that the board made about this project, so I made modifications because in some of the notes said they want to see the existing parking lot if they have enough parking lot for the gas station. So we checked that. We have, let me show you.
This one here with all these spots?
Yep, so
One up is the existing. Yeah,
Oh.
that's the existing.
that's the existing one. So they're requiring 10 parkings in the area, and we have more than 10. So we are gonna take from the right side, and we're gonna use them for the EV charging stations. So we're gonna have enough parking lot for regular parking. This is not the update plan, so I've been working on the update plan. So we have the ADA spot that is located on the project in the right area. So we're gonna put next to it. Yeah, I got the new plans. So the ADA spot is at the end of the charging station.
So you can use your mouse if you want to show us.
So,
This is the bank side.
Yes.
Right.
so the
Yes.
ADA charging, the one for regular use is located right here,
Okay.
and the new one is right here. So also a comment that they made in the project is we have to have 80 feet enough for ADA access, like stripe lines. So we make this bigger, and we locate the chargers not in front of the ADA strip line, so we put it in the grass. So we have more accessibility for the people that want to use them.
Are you gonna have a different ADA spot that's not a charging station, so you're not?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
we have one for the building for any person who can use, and one for the chargers, so 2 in total.
one that's got nothing
So-
in it. Oh, on the offside. Yeah, charging station.
It should be the new layout.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yep, all right.
Charging ADA and a non-charging ADA.
So the only changes are going to be on the bank side?
Yes, yes.
The other side's no
It's
changes?
gonna keep like as is.
Okay.
We're not modifying anything.
Okay.
What's the, are they, the charging station gonna be for clients for the gas station, or anyone can just go
Anyone
and
can
charge?
use them. It's for, now, like people, EV charging are growing, so people trying to just don't use too much gas, trying to be ecological. Like a lot of, the market is going up, and also it's better for the environment. So most of the people want to charge their cars. Some people doesn't have in the house a charger, so they're gonna, it's gonna be for everyone that wanna use the station. So it's gonna be for everyone.
Are they owned by the gas station, or are they owned by the company that puts them in?
No, that's something I think is for the gas station. Yeah.
Yeah, in my experience with them, it's usually a partnership. The company who puts them in does some kind of maintenance plan, and
Right.
then they take a percentage of the fee, and then
Yeah, it
the
works.
gas station or wherever
Sometimes
they're at.
we got a percent, like for example,
Yeah.
1 cent per kilowatt. Sometimes we own, sometimes they own. So
It
it depends.
varies based on, depending on who is putting them in.
Yeah,
Just like gas pumps.
I'm just
Yeah.
thinking if something goes wrong with them, who's gonna, be there to, well, yeah,
I mean, I have to double check that, but
yeah,
It's gonna be the same as like the ones that are tops and stuff like that. so.
right. Yeah, if you could just check with the owner, like, is the store manager gonna have, if something happens,
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
this project is our project.
Right.
Yeah.
okay.
Is that four chargers?
It's 2 chargers, but those are dual chargers, so you can use 2.
4 cars?
Yeah, 4 cars.
We're not at the point, right? for-
You're not at
yeah.
the public hearing stage.
This,
yeah.
this will have a public hearing, and you'll be able to ask whatever you want to ask. I'm trying to ask as much as I can. I want the public to know what side it's on, if the other side's going to be altered. So these are on the bank side. We're going to check on who's going to be able to assist the fire department if something happens to these things.
Did we ask what kind of plugs it will accommodate? There are 2 types of plugs that are sort of a changing ecosystem.
Actually, I have to ask our attorney.
Okay.
So we have a new advisory from the CAC. So is she allowed to, Rebecca, is she?
I think what would be the most appropriate is that the advisory members kind of do it similar to the consultants, where they review it and identify their questions, and then the board would be able to review it, yeah.
Okay.
And figure this out.
Yeah, no,
No, it's
understood.
okay, we're covering some new territory. So those of you that don't know, the new town supervisor and the new town board wants this board linked to the CAC and the fire department. And she is our CAC link.
You'll be here next month.
Yes, so you're the fire department? Oh,
Substitute,
So,
I'm Wayne.
I know, but, yeah, we're covering some new ground here, so, in the name of transparency, this board will be linked to the fire department and the CAC. So everyone will be involved, and no one will be left out. So we're covering some new ground here, and then we're going to cover even some more ground when Unico Lab begins.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Are you asking me to elaborate on that, or?
No, I'm just letting the public know, and anybody who's going to watch this video at their leisure, that we're covering some new ground here. But I try to ask as many questions as the public would ask, and I want them to know where these things are. These are on the bank side. They're commingled with handicap spots, right?
Sorry, what was that?
They're with,
Yes.
Okay.
I checked everything. We got
yeah,
the right space.
that's what I'm just talking out loud to make sure
Yeah,
everyone,
it was not before, but now it's.
right. So we're gonna get new drawings.
Yeah.
Okay. They're gonna have their own electric service?
Yes,
Right,
it's a new electric service.
Those are tons of juice.
yeah. Well, at Tops Supermarket, the original application for Tops had electric service. Then the state and the county came and put charging stations in the middle of the parking lot. We okayed a second electrical service. Then the charging stations for Tesla came along. So at the public hearing for the Tesla charging stations, someone from the public said this board has no idea what the hell they're doing because we've okayed 3 electrical services on one property. But it's, as technology evolves, when Tops was originally built, we didn't have these things. So now we do. So that's why you have multiple electrical services. So, is there any other questions? You want to let us know anything else?
I think it's pretty much that, like, those are good chargers, they're charging 30 minutes. Like, those are not like the ones that you told you have that takes like 12 hours to
Right.
charge your car, so it's gonna be like something quick.
These are like rapid charge,
It's
right?
gonna be like 30 minutes, 45 at least, and then you're good to go.
I'm sorry, I can't hear anything.
Oh, yeah, stay close to that.
Yeah, those are fast chargers, so those are not like the ones that you have in your house that is gonna charge you in 12 hours, so that's gonna be 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and then you're good to go. Like, it's gonna be something quick.
Okay. Anybody else, questions? I think we're okay for now. All right, thank
Thank you
you.
for your time.
Yes, thank you.
I would just note that your planner's memo did note that if you wish to designate this as a type 2 action tonight, you could take that action.
Everybody okay?
Yep.
Okay, motion to declare it type 2.
Hold on.
That's all right.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, type 2 action. Okay,
Need a hearing?
what's up?
Need a hearing?
Schedule it? What's that?
I wasn't sure if it was ready to be scheduled for a public hearing or if it needed some updates. Let me just look.
To update his drawing?
Yeah, that's true, we need new drawings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most likely next month.
Next item on our agenda, 688 Freedom Plains Road, amended site plan application for the installation of electric vehicle charging stations located in the commercial C zoning district, 1.2 acres, grid number 6360-01-439877, owner Port Washington Boulevard LLC, licensed professional, Wood Hollow Contracting Corps, MJ Engineering. Hello, how are you?
Hello, so this is pretty much the same thing.
Okay,
Electric
before you start, on this application, there's no, like on this one, you have a nice Valero bullseye. So everyone knows this is the Gulf Station. So on your plans, let's put Gulf Station.
Okay.
And just so everyone in the public knows, he's talking about the gas station next to the Apple Valley Shopping Center. Go ahead.
Thank you.
On the west side of the gas station, of the.
I was gonna say there's two, right?
Yeah,
There's one on
it's
each end.
between that
Oh,
and the
yeah.
and the Midas.
Thank you.
This is
Yeah.
the Midas,
Tire.
tire here.
Right.
This is where Subway is, so it's in between that.
Yes, in between Subway and the Midas Tire.
I'll label
Thank-
them next
thank you.
time.
No, it's just so we keep them all straight.
So we're gonna do the same thing here. We're gonna install EV chargers in this area. There were a couple of comments, modifications that we did here. The same thing, trying to keep the width for the parking lots. They have to be ADA accessible, trying to give it space to the strip line. So we made a couple of modifications here too. But pretty much, we got a different, the only different thing here is we have a different type of charger. The other one that we have include a power cabinet. This charger right here is an update one. The difference between the other one and this one is a new model. So the power cabinet is like a power box, so where you're gonna storage all the energy. But this new model, instead of having the big box, you got the big box inside of the charger, so you don't need the storage anymore. So they're built-in. So that will be the only difference that we switch the chargers. Also because of the space in this area, we don't have too much space in this area. We're trying to also keep not a lot of electrical equipment around.
How many total charging stations on this one?
Two,
Two.
same thing.
One rapid and one not.
No, those are the two are fast chargers,
Both rapid.
both.
Okay,
Yeah, each one can service 2 cars.
okay.
They're
Oh,
accessible
each,
24 hours
so
a day.
4 cars
Yeah.
total?
Yeah, you can see
Okay.
down there's 2 boxes in between. They usually have two cords
Right.
coming out of each one.
So 4 cars.
Do you have a
How many
picture?
cars total on the other one? 4?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 2
Alright.
chargers, 4 ports. So
I have to make notes or I'll never keep this all straight. So 2 chargers, 4 total cars. Now, this one also has the new restaurant. I go by there every day. There's a new sign there. Did you know that?
yeah,
Yeah, there's a brand-new sign there. This gas station has some type of new restaurant or food source in it, which I'm gonna check on. I wrote myself a note. Yeah, I didn't know if you know or if the town even knows, but it's only been there a few days. What's that? The green sign?
Yeah,
How long?
3 years.
a while,
Like weeks or months?
yes.
Okay, well, for me, that's
Eyes
like,
on the road, man, you guys.
no, I know.
That's all you gotta worry about.
Straight ahead.
No, I just want to make sure it's all good, you know. Is there any other questions? Really, a month, you think? I'm going to
Yeah.
check. Okay, fine.
I know the zoning administrator knows.
It's okay?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Oh, that's the other one.
There were 2 comments on this project. One was about the wetlands that they have in the area, but we called and we confirmed that the permit that you have to have for the wetlands, that the ones that you have to be 100 feet apart, that's only when you have the area is more than 15 acres. So all the areas that we have, there are not more than 15 in the
15 acres, right?
Yes, they're not all that we have around. So they confirmed with us that we don't need the permit for the wetland.
Are these in a handicap area too? These?
Yeah.
Okay.
We also move the new plans. We move the area where the chargers are located.
There's newer plans than this plan? There's newer plans than this
Yes,
one?
Yes.
Okay.
The only thing that we did here, we align this area, these chargers, we align with the building. So it's like a straight line here. So we can do the ADA accessible or one line, so they can go straight to the ramp, so they don't have to make an L here. So this is, in the new plans, they're online. I can show you that right now.
Right.
And also, we still having the no parking lot for the building, so we make, we had at the beginning 17, but now using these spots, we have 12, so the minimum is 10, and we have the ADA for the building and the ADA for the chargers too.
Any other questions?
And your point of the jurisdictional determination, you should be regarding the wetlands, because there is an informational wetland behind that property, and you should actually get in writing a jurisdictional determination regarding what you just said. It sounds like you spoke to someone, but
Yeah, we'll get that information
Okay.
on a paper, so. If you want to take a look to the new charger, to
Sure.
see the difference.
Sure.
So this is the one that I was talking about before. This is the unit right here, and this is the power cabinet. So we're not having that anymore in this project. It's going to be just the charger. It's like a one unit. Pretty much it's going to look a little bit bigger, but we're going to, let me show you. This is the new one. It's pretty similar,
Right.
actually.
The cabinet's going to go behind the sidewalk.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, he's saying that this one has, the electrical cabinet is built into the charger.
Yes.
Right.
The other one has a separate,
So you don't
separate.
need
Yeah.
that power cabinet anymore?
Right.
Because,
it's more compact.
Yes, it's more compact, use less space.
because of the location and the potential danger for the amount of power there, is there a need to have some type of security, at least on the backside? Or so there's no vandalism or anything?
Closer to the mic.
Just concerned about, in this location, there's nothing but woods behind that building. So to have it secure with maybe a fence in the back or something, so it can't be vandalized or jeopardized, because it's going to be 24 hours a day, but the store is not, or those hours could change.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
just wondering about potential dangers of people messing with those systems. I'm assuming they're contained and safe,
yeah,
is my
It's
question.
usually locked, I believe.
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much, I understand the question, but those are like boxes, metallic boxes. So they can damage them, but behind the building is like a lot of trees, like it's a really long area, like you said. So,
I get what you're saying, for sure, right? But I think, and we'd have to look it up, but there's code-driven, because it's 480 volt three-phase, so it'll bite you.
Yeah.
Pretty good, too. But I think there's a regulation on these things for tamper/vandalism proof when they're standalone like this. I don't know for sure exactly what the wording is, but it'd be worth looking into for sure, because you don't want a couple of malicious kids like I was in my youth.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking. They're tamper-proof and safe.
yeah, we can
You can't really
check
fence it
that.
off, you can't get to the charging ports.
No, on the
On the
backside,
backside, yeah.
because the rest can be lit, but coming out of the woods. all sorts of
The
things
units
can
on the back of the sidewalk on the new plan are going to stay?
In the new plans, there are like more in front of the building, so maybe we can build actually, in case that will need a fence, like a line with a building at the back. But also I have to double check, because like he said that's a low, high voltage equipment. I don't know how far the fence have to be from the transformer or something like that, so we're gonna check that.
And even the power cabinet, so the power cabinet is just your switchgear, right? So that's, your line voltage comes into the power cabinet, and then you leave out of the power cabinet on the load side to the EV charger, right? So you're still gonna have 480, to your point, if that standalone tree, but and that's why I'm saying I believe they are code-driven to be a certain rating, so somebody with malicious
So there's
intent
no
can't
need
kill
for it then,
themselves.
that's
Yeah.
all.
It's worth checking
I
it,
can
though.
check that. I
It's
can
worth
check
checking it, 100%, because like I said, I don't know it by heart at all. I know there's something there, but I don't know what it is.
I actually don't think that they're drawing anything until it's actually plugged in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cable itself is dead until it.
Yeah, until it, yeah.
Yeah, I would say decide on what you're actually going to use, update your drawings,
Yeah.
and
I'm gonna try to find as much information about the vandalism and
Right.
all about these chargers.
okay. Same thing, no alterations to the Mavis Tire side?
No, we're
Okay.
not touching that area.
Okay.
They are moving a parking spot closer to Highway 55 in this, unless you change that.
Yeah, sorry, where?
You're moving one of the parking spots closer to Highway 55.
On the top, sorry.
You have the mouse? On the,
Which area here?
out front.
Out front.
Here?
No, look,
So, sorry, I forgot this part. So, in this project, we're thinking also to remove the parking lots in that area because at the beginning, what they designed is not enough room to keep those. We got enough parking lot, like the code said for this.
These 3 spots?
No,
are-
we're gonna remove
Yeah, you're.
the right ones.
These?
Yeah, that line,
Okay.
to have more access because we don't have to cause any accident when we're
It
using
makes
it.
it be difficult to pull into that last bay
Yep.
if you have those
Yeah.
spots there.
So we're gonna get rid of the line here because we have 12 parking lots available, 3 in the front, we got 5 on the left side, we got 2 on the left down, and we got 3 on the front with the ADA, and we're gonna have the chargers too.
yeah, we'll do updated drawings with the actual units you're going to use.
You guys have propane on the property? Like switching out tanks or?
I think they have it, but that's on the other side of the building. Like you mean the ones that you buy?
Yeah, you want to?
Yeah. Those are on the other side of the building, the left side.
You can include that in the next set of plans?
Yep, I definitely do that.
Any other questions? Anybody?
No.
All right, I think we're okay.
Thank you.
Same thing?
Thank you.
Are we gonna say?
Yeah, it's similar to the last project we had recommended. Well, we had, the project appears to be a type 2 action, and you can close the secret process, depending on your comfort level with the wetlands.
I think we better wait for that letter. From what he said, right? We should get it in writing?
You should. There is an informational wetland, and there's an inquiry that can be made to New York DEC regarding jurisdiction of that wetland. If truly it isn't a wetland that would require permitting, then that should be in a written letter.
Right.
It can take up to 60 days to get that letter. That's the timeline that DEC gives for that.
So for tonight, we can declare type 2.
Yes.
Yeah, that issue won't change the type 2, but it will change your impact, how you review the site plan. So you can proceed and just, I didn't point out on the last one, just because I was kind of jumping in, that it's a type 2 under subsection 9, which provides for the construction or expansion of primary or accessory facilities of less than 4,000 square feet, for the record. Both these applications fit within that.
Right. So is that letter going to hold him up, getting that letter?
Depending on how quickly the DEC responds to the inquiry, it could. It will, they have up to 60 days when an inquiry is met, is requested.
I think we should have the letter. Right? I think so.
I agree.
Okay, so,
Are you asking before seeker, or are you asking, is it going to hold up to move forward? I heard 2 different questions, so I just want to make sure.
well, tonight we could declare type 2.
You can.
But we could take him on his word that they said that, but we should have it from the agency.
So it can stand as a type Type 2 separate from this issue, but you are going, I believe you're going to want to have that in the record.
Yes.
I don't mean to jump in and
No,
take
it's
over
okay,
your-
yeah.
No, it's,
Thank you for.
yeah.
Even with potential wetland impact, it would still stay at type 2?
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone okay? Motion to declare type 2.
Motion.
All, second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Type 2. Anything else on that one? Or we're okay? What's that?
I think that's all.
Yeah. Okay. Next item on our agenda, 749 Properties, application of site plan for proposed repair, storage, and office for a racing bike organization located at 749 Freedom Plains Road in the Commercial C zoning district containing .4 acres, grid number 6360-02-582874, owner 749 Properties LLC, licensed professional Dace DeCosa, M. Zapatoski, John Andrews, and Rebecca Vault. Hello.
Hello. It's been a while since I've seen you guys.
I know,
Yeah.
7:53.
You missed me, didn't you?
Yes.
You don't look any different.
I'm trying to be a little bit thinner, but it's not working out. Still fighting the COVID weight.
I like that excuse.
You look like Never heard that before. It's not age-related. The last time we were in front of the board, we talked about this project. We went over elevations, we talked about the retaining wall, on-site stormwater management, and then since that time, we've been working through some of the mechanics behind those concepts. So we did soil testing with John Andrews' office, and we had the Board of Health on site. We obtained Board of Health approval for a new septic, and we're working through some of the major design issues with the stormwater aspect on site. A couple dot the i's, cross the t's, things remain with that. We had a site visit on site with Mr. Andrews and the owner of Duchess Rec, and we talked about constructability of the retaining wall that we're putting in on the west side of the property. Duchess Rec individual, the owner, is very amenable to working with us. He's providing us a temporary construction easement to allow the construction of that wall if we have to be on both sides of the property line. We worked through some easement issues, and we detailed some of the drainage improvements a little bit more on this plan set. The plan of attack is we submitted stuff in draft as far as easement layouts for Mr. Andrews to review, and we've engaged with the applicant's attorney, and we will be, obviously forwarding that attorney language to Rebecca for review. But I think we've moved pretty far along here on some of the technical aspects that you see underground and constructability issues. That's the update.
Is that agreement with Duchess Rec in writing?
Not yet, sir.
Okay. But it's,
He was content to just say, yeah, I'll give you my permission, and it was my position, and it remains my position unless corrected by council, that good easement instruments make good neighbors, so we are going to get a written instrument fileable, so that there's no question, because he does have specific needs, and he does have, he had some very detailed, specific requests that were not unreasonable, so it's better to just get them in writing.
no, I agree.
To Brian's point, there's still some i's to dot and t's to cross. I know Mr. Aldridge was concerned about the walls and the introduction of water behind them and how things were going to overlap. There's still a couple issues for that, but I think all the agencies have looked at it and are pretty comfortable with what they're proposing. They do propose to put some stormwater up front, the septic's in the back, but most of the elements of the wall where the fabric is are on the lower levels, so it wouldn't interfere with septic or water. They do have some drainage facilities, but they do need to add some clarity. And then the way the water kind of runs, it all runs down to a corner and it goes underneath the driveway to Duchess Rec in the back. We've still got to fine tune that a little bit to make sure that all the water from this site ends up there, doesn't overtop the road, because it's right at the bottom of the hill. The last thing you want to do is have an icing problem in the middle of the winter. But for the most part, I echo what Brian has said. They have really moved this along, and now it's just a question of getting all the details in their proper form and closing the easement instrument through Rebecca.
I have a question about the easement. So it's a temporary construction easement. What happens in 10 or 15 years if that wall needs to be maintained or that drainage needs to be addressed or?
So we have two easements that we're doing on that property. One is the wall construction, and two, there is a drainage easement that allows the receiving swale and the pipe going under Duchess Wreck that John's referring to be maintained. So they're within that easement language that we're working through. We'll incorporate the provision that went in every 15 years.
In case a new owner is less friendly to you working on
In
it.
fact, once the wall is constructed, it's easier to maintain it from their side. It's the difficulty of staging materials and getting everything to work, because you do need to excavate it down, get it in. There's some trees there that they like to preserve. So once the wall construction is completed and certified, the temporary easement will extinguish, and unless it's a major failure, which one wouldn't anticipate, there's really no need to get back in there to do it. It can all be maintained and improved then from the filled side of this site.
Typically, what's done is the documents are written together with the temporary construction easement, and then the permanent easement would allow for access as needed for maintenance.
Got it.
So just to give perspective, we wanted to make sure we had Board of Health and work through the mechanics of that approval, working on the wall details, and then get it to the board. So we're in the process of drafting the easement descriptions now, and then Rebecca will be in touch with the applicants again.
For anybody watching this video later online, this project is up from Apple Valley Shopping Center. It has a daycare on the left side. On the right side, a little bit up the road, is hot ash firewood. As you drive down into Duchess Wreck, there'll be a retaining wall on your right-hand side that'll make the upper parking lot a little bigger to accommodate the vehicles. And the dumpster will be put out back when it's finished, right?
Yes, it is.
Is it out back now? Or is it still out front?
It's still hanging out.
Okay. In the final end of the project, that dumpster will be in the back.
I'll take a picture.
Yeah. Any other questions? Any questions?
I don't have any questions for the board, except that my comments have been substantially addressed. I believe John's have as well. So unless John or Rebecca is opposed, I would recommend that you schedule the public hearing the next month.
Motion to schedule public hearing.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So that date would be
May 21st.
May 21st.
Yes, one public hearing signed.
What's that?
One public hearing sign, so
Oh,
I just wanted to make
Did they get through, Dealey?
I think that's it for that.
okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next item on our agenda, Arlington Estates, application for a 3-lot subdivision of a 13.55 acre property located on Stringham Road, Knoxon Road, and Kinkead Lane in the residential flexible density RFD zoning district, grid number 6459-01-373992, owner Mid-Hudson Development, licensed professional, Dace DeCosa Engineering. Okay. Very good. Hello again.
Hello again.
8:03.
Long time no see.
Long time. I think I passed it. Similar to this one, the last time we were in front of the board,
Let me just check, make sure you can hear you. Can you can hear him okay?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So this is a 3-lot split. Formerly, my old office was in front of this board, just to get perspective. This used to be a 5-lot subdivision, so the applicant and former owner pulled back a couple of years ago, went dormant. Now we're looking at a 3-lot subdivision, individual well, individual septic. We've done soil testing with the health department out there. We've made application with the health department. As part of this, a test well was required to be installed. We did get approved for that. The applicant made it an attempt to install that test well on lot number 3. We probably should have given a little bit of a heads up on what was going on to inform everybody, but I didn't have that opportunity. So needless to say that the action that you did see out there was approved by the health department, but I don't believe anybody in the town was aware of what was going on. So we've made some efforts to make everybody happy in that respect, and the intent again was to install a test well. Moving forward on that, getting back to kind of where we left off with the planning board, is we spoke to the DEC. They issued a positive. No, they didn't issue. We asked for interpretation on where if there was any buffer areas on the west side of the property along the creek that interfered with our project. Sarah from DEC was supposed to go out and take a gander in December. January rolls around, we get all the snow, she couldn't go out. So we had about a 2.5-month delay before we could get any of our DEC projects to have a site visit. But she went on site, there's no DEC wetlands on site, and there's no buffers associated with the creek that would affect this project specifically on lot number 3. She did issue an email to that effect, and there will be an updated JD that we will send the board. But she did indicate that in correspondence that she did send us, and we forwarded that on to the town. Other than that, we had a meeting on site with John Andrews back in October, November about the driveways and pitching the driveways internally away from the town road, specifically on lots 1 and 2, having a receiving swale to take some of that driveway runoff and creating low areas at the property line and town right-of-way area, just to make sure that water didn't overtop and head toward our neighbors to the east. We expanded on that with this submission. We've reduced some of the driveway profiles, so we're more in line with town code and not seeking any additional waivers from the planning board or acceptance of the driveway grades. Other than that, those are the big hit list items. With this, I think we have to re-advertise for a public hearing just because we didn't close seeker out, but I think we're moving toward that. Oh, and I think we got a sign off from OPRH. Yes. Try to make it quick.
Just a couple things. Probably heard through the grapevine there was a little bit of a snafu with this test well because people saw machinery and equipment on the site. One of the people happened to be the highway superintendent. He was not a happy camper because they had put in a tracking pad without prior discussion with him. He called me, I called Brian. I think the ruffled feathers are being smoothed over, but all they were seeking to do and should have done, and they got a little overambitious, I think, was to put in a tracking pad and provide access to the test well on lot 3. It's a short run. I think they're all prepared to do it, and I think they finally made nice with the highway superintendent. So I think that's on its way to being resolved. They can't get health department approval until that test well is in and the results are available. As Brian said, we have done everything that we discussed in our meeting. They're providing easements for each of the drainage areas to allow the town, but not to establish an obligation for the town to maintain those. They are giving us additional right-of-way. The highway superintendent on both sides does not have 25 foot from the center line of road to the property line on this property. So they are giving us extra right-of-way so that we will have a uniform 25 foot off the center line of road on both roads into our property. They also have a self-imposed restriction of a 50-foot no disturbance buffer around the little inset lock that's in there. That's not owned, it's not part of this subdivision, but they do have a 50-foot buffer proposed. They need some additional language and some clarity so that it gets squared away. But other than that, for the most part, most of my issues have been addressed, and it's really down to completing the Board of Health and getting the I's dotted and the T's crossed.
So from my comments, they've been substantially addressed. As Brian said, we haven't closed out the seeker process yet. I think we were paused while we waited for the DEC and OPRHP to get back to us. So tonight in front of you, you will see an EAF Part 2 drafted that I was hoping we could go through quickly. So please stop me if you have any questions or disagree with any of these items that I am about to say. But I have noted yes for impact on land, and I have indicated small impacts may occur. For the proposed action may involve construction on land where depth to water table is less than 3 feet. The proposed action may involve construction of on slopes of 15% or greater. The proposed action may involve construction on land where bedrock is exposed or generally within 5 feet of the existing ground surface. And the proposed action may result in increased erosion, whether from physical disturbance or vegetation removal. Any comments on that section?
Nope.
Okay. I have indicated no for impact on geological features. I have indicated yes on impacts on surface water and indicated a small impact for the proposed action may involve construction within or adjoining a freshwater or tidal wetland or in the bed or banks of any other water body. Impact on groundwater, I have indicated yes, and indicated small impacts for the proposed action may require new water supply wells or create additional demand on supplies from existing water supply wells. And small impact for the proposed action may allow or result in residential uses in areas without water and sewer services.
Okay.
Impact on flooding, I have indicated yes, and indicated a small impact for the proposed action may result in development within a 500-year floodplain. Impacts on air, I have indicated no. Impacts on plants and animals, I have indicated yes, and a potential small impact for the proposed action may result in a reduction or degradation of any habitat used by any rare, threatened, or endangered species as listed by New York State or the federal government, and that is due to the site being flagged in the EAF mapper for Blanding's turtles and Indiana bats. I've indicated no for impact on agricultural resources and aesthetic resources. I had indicated yes on impact on historic and archaeological resources and indicated a small impact on the proposed action may occur wholly or partially within or substantially contiguous to an area designated as sensitive for archaeological sites on the New York State Historic Preservation Office Archaeological Site Inventory. I have indicated no for impacts to open space and recreation, and no to impact on critical environmental areas. No to impact on transportation, no to impacts on energy, no to impacts on noise, odor, and light, no to impacts on human health, no to consistency with community plans, and no to consistency with community character. Are there any comments on those?
I don't have any.
No. There was no issue with the wells and impacting the neighborhood next door?
I will turn over to John.
They don't have Board of Health yet.
They don't, one of the reasons the Board of Health is requiring a test well is to determine what the water quality would be. And usually with a small 3-lot subdivision, it's not going to have a substantive impact. It's not like they're pumping a lot of water. But unless and until we have the results of that first test well, it gets I think, a minimum 6-hour pump test, and it does water quality testing. So once we get that, we'll have a better concept, sir.
Thank you.
So I just want to go over something about this project. For those of you that don't know, this project is bordered by 3 roads. It's bordered by Knoxham Road, where you go through the rock cut. It's bordered by Stringham Road and Kincaid Lane. And it's an existing lot with a house on it, right? The little
kind of
yeah. Yeah, there's an existing structure and a house on that little piece. and they're going to propose to add 3 new homes. And on their own, they created a road to go in and drill this well, which created phone calls, one of which I got, the highway superintendent, the public, well, the public wants to know what's going on. We didn't know they did this, so it created, I don't want to use the word shitstorm, but it created something.
Please don't.
Yeah.
You didn't use that word.
Yeah. It created something like that. So does this have a stop work order on it?
I think the highway superintendent kind of put his foot down.
But does it have a stop work order?
I don't think it has an official stop.
Okay.
That I know of.
Okay.
I think, no, Ken issued one.
Did Ken issue one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to go over that. So I believe it has a stop work order issued on it. So that being said, now we can go back to this form.
So if the board is comfortable with the part 2 that we just went over, I would recommend that you adopt that at this time.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Yep.
Okay. You want to say the wordage? Go ahead. Motion to,
A motion to adopt the AF part 2 as reviewed tonight.
motion? Second? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
So then, EAF Part 3 and a determination of significance come next. Based on what you've adopted in the Part 2, it would be a negative declaration of impact. We've been kind of bouncing back and forth between myself drafting your negative declaration and the applicant providing some EAF Part 3 language. So I will leave that up to you, which route you want to take this month. But either way, my recommendation would be that at the next meeting, you're in a position to adopt an EAF Part 3 and a negative declaration of impact. And unless John or Rebecca are opposed, I would not be opposed to scheduling the public hearing for next month,
No,
as long as seeker is closed first.
Yeah, you close seeker because it's a subdivision.
And that would just be the order of operations at the meeting. So you would adopt the EAF Part 3 and the negative declaration and then open the public hearing.
Which you have done on
Right.
some projects.
I'm just writing it all down. First will be the second, and the public hearing.
And not that I like to give work to my colleague, but I think there's enough information in the record that it's probably more expedient for Megan to do the Part 3 and prepare the neg deck all at once, rather than go back and forth with the applicant. No disrespect to Brian.
Everybody okay with the public hearing? Go ahead.
No, the public hearing's fine. The question about the stop work order, they can't drill?
I'll have to figure that out. Sandy, if you can get that stuff, a copy of that to me, and then I'll work through it with Brian and John and see what we can come up with.
Because they were given permission to drill the test well.
By the health department, but it wasn't coordinated with the town.
Okay.
It has to be properly coordinated because they did the site. And
So-
so it's,
Are we gonna have the result? We're still waiting on the results, so we're gonna
they
have,
can't drill it yet until we get the stop work.
Yeah, they haven't
so
drilled it.
why, the public hearing is gonna be indifferent to the results of,
You'll have the results for final approval
okay.
of the subdivision.
And if there, and the beauty of holding a public hearing, your code allows for a public hearing at both preliminary and final. So what you would do is you would identify this as a preliminary public hearing, you would hold it, and then when they submit for final, once they have Board of Health approval, if there's a difference in circumstance that requires you, you can hold another public hearing to allow the public to comment on that. So that's the beauty of your system. So I would not have an issue with holding the preliminary public hearing at this point in time, unless council does.
I'm actually sending Mr. Andrews, I have a copy of the stop work order in my email.
Oh, okay.
So
I
I just
never got
emailed
it.
that.
Can you send that to me too?
Everybody gets
Please.
this one.
I only heard about it via phone calls.
Okay.
So this board can continue with the stop work order?
Yeah, looking at the scope of the stop work order, I think if there's some communication, this can be flushed out. Because it was without having a building permit, and I think it's because of the communication issues.
Right.
They should have gotten.
Communicated.
Now we know why you were avoiding us.
I'm a great communicator. Sometimes my clients,
I gotta be honest with you, the day I called him, I thought he was gonna cry.
Where the access is now is where the tentative driveway is going to go.
plus or minus, I mean, I think
Within, yeah.
it's within a couple of feet. I think what they did is, the test well is right off the road, so
Stay close to the,
typically you back the well truck in, so I think in our plan, the driveway's probably about 100 foot north, maybe a little bit more of where that tracking pad is.
Okay.
So.
So-
That was my, by the way, that was my fourth stop work order that week, so. Not mine personally.
All from LaGrange?
in this town?
2 in LaGrange and 2 in 2 other towns, and so it's 3 towns.
So
Might have
they
been
were
the
all.
same applicant.
Yeah.
So we're okay to set the public hearing? Everybody okay with that?
Motion.
Okay, motion to set the public hearing.
I'll make a motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
If we could just discuss quickly the location of the public hearing signs. As
Yes.
this site has 3 frontages, each, I think, over 1,000 feet in length, correct me if I'm wrong. I would recommend at least 2 public hearing signs per side, but that is at the discretion of the board.
So the notice is the public hearing signs, 3 different roads. How many signs?
I think the 6, if you kind of, like 10, 15 feet in from each intersection.
Well, we had a
Maybe
public-
like 50 feet in from each
Like-
intersection.
Kind of a third of the way, a third
Didn't
of the
this
way.
have a public hearing on it?
No.
No.
Not yet.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this was the matter that we discovered. We had scheduled the public hearing before we realized the seeker couldn't be closed.
Right.
I think somewhere in here.
Where you put the signs last time?
How many do we use on the first one? I can't remember.
I thought it was 6.
3, I think.
Yeah, I thought it was 3 at one at each
Yeah.
corner.
I think it was.
I think you're right.
That was your idea.
Yeah, I
was
think you're
my
right.
idea.
All right.
Good job, Roy.
Yeah,
Board. 3?
3.
Well, if you
One
want,
roughly centered in each.
I think I did, I thought we suggested one at each.
Well, I want, no matter which road they use, I want them to see it, so,
I thought we kind of put it at each corner.
2 of each.
I think we did.
I'm trying to look back through my notes.
Yeah, just do whatever we did last time.
Yeah. I didn't have it written
I
down.
I think everyone in the area knows about it. They'll know, they'll be looking for them.
Everybody knew.
so
We're good
one,
with 1 on each side?
you guys think 1 on each?
Yes.
I think so.
Okay, yes, 3 signs. So let's just back up a little. This had a public hearing. Now we're going to have a public hearing May 21st, and we may have to have another one if,
We didn't
So,
have, we,
You have the option to have no, the reason, let me just go back a little bit. The reason that you held the first public hearing
right,
was anticipation of what
Yes.
we're talking tonight, closing seeker.
Right.
We could not close seeker at that point in time because we didn't have a response from the EC and we didn't have a response from OPRHP.
Right.
As a convenience to the public, because people had shown up. If
Yes.
you remember.
Yes.
You decided to hold the public hearing, listen to the public,
right,
and advise them that you would hold another official public hearing once seeker could be closed.
right.
So that was kind of an informal courtesy to the public, but now you're holding the official public hearing.
Okay. And if seeker's not closed, we're going to have another one.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, everybody got it?
Close seeker.
Yeah. I'm good. Anything else? Any? Okay, thank you. Next item on our agenda, Arthur'sburg Heights Site Plan Special Use Permit Ridgeline Wetlands Disturbance. Application to construct a single-family home in the Ridgeline Overlay District located on Beaver Road in the Residential Low-Density RLD Zoning District containing 5.28 acres, grid number 6559-02-77861. Applicant Mid-Hudson Development Corporation, licensed professional, Dace DeCosa Engineering. Hello.
Hello.
824. Okay.
So this one, we were in front of the board, I believe in December. This is the Beaver Road. We made a couple of site visits to this. This was, just to give everybody an update, this was a lot that was approved back in early 2000s. It had a house in one location. It had some pretty substantial drainage improvements that convey some upland drainage around the site to a receiving swale and ravine that's existing, and the septic was actually across the ravine. There was some pretty heavy grading that was approved as part of that plan. Long story short, the former owner was a builder, came in and started doing some of the improvements and bringing in some concrete, some crushed rock, and some construction debris, not in the right spots, and altering drainage. So a couple of years go by, new applicant buys a piece of property around COVID. All of a sudden they discover what they bought, and the property's flagged for violation. So we've been in front of the board for a number of years. First, we wanted to make sure that this is a Board of Health approved lot, since the wetland laws have changed, the buffers have changed since it was approved in the early 2000s. So we did meet with the health department. We did get Board of Health approval. The septic is located toward the rear of the lot. It's like a flag lot, almost reverse flag. So the septic's up in the back, and then we have the house in front of it. Then we pivoted back to the planning board to address the violations and the ridgeline permit, and also how we mitigate the fill that was brought into the site, and sequencing and phasing on how we do that. There were a couple of variances that were required through the ZBA. We pivoted over to them for a buffer disturbance. You have to have a buffer of a buffer on your disturbance line. So some of our disturbance, because of the septic area and where the highway department wants the future driveway, the buffering encroached onto a neighbor's property. To provide mitigation, we did some advanced screening within our property to provide relief for that variance. The zoning board was okay with it, and I think we had to pivot back to this board to close seeker before we could go back to the zoning board to close them out. So we're trying to wrap up that process with the board. We're going to be back to the ZBA, I think, June. So that's what we're going to be doing. But some of the mechanics that we wanted to work through was the bonding associated with the mitigation and plantings. So we are working with John Andrews' office on some numbers going back and forth. We started that process. So just wanted to give the board an update and tell you where we are. It's been a little bit. But one of the biggest problems that we had, again, this was a rough winter, trying to get some material estimates on what it would take to do that mitigation effort was hampered because we had 3 foot of snow on the ground for several months and nobody was willing to commit to an estimate. So it took a while for the snow to melt, and then the submission deadlines and getting in front of you, it leads us to an April meeting. So just to give the board an update.
For those people that don't know, this project, if you were on 82 and you started up Beaver Road and you stayed on Beaver Road all the way to the top of the hill to the stop sign, and then you took a left at the stop sign, there's a house, and then next to it is an empty lot with the like dirt path. That's the parcel that we're talking about.
Do you want to go first?
I can go first. Substantially, Brian has addressed most of our concerns with respect to stormwater, wetlands, and the removal of the materials. He came up with a rather detailed plan. Certain members of the planning board were out there. It's embodied in his drawings. What we all agreed upon, including Mr. Koza on behalf of this applicant, that they will need a performance bond backed by a performance security. As Brian indicated, we are working our way through that. He gave me an estimate I sent an estimate back to him, which was substantially higher, so we're kind of working through it. And then what we're going to need is, we're going to need Rebecca to ultimately draft a agreement. I started working on my recommendations to her. But other than that, this is, from my standpoint, most of my issues have been resolved. It's really just pulling the bond together and getting the performance agreement in place.
Hello.
Hello.
So as Brian stated, we haven't closed out seeker on this item either. So before you tonight, I have prepared a draft EAF Part 3 and a draft negative declaration of impact for your consideration. We can go through it in whatever depth you would like, or if the board has had a chance to read through that. I know I provided it rather late in the game, so whichever you prefer. And just as a reminder, this was based off of the EAF Part 2 that you adopted in January.
The new highway superintendent, John Wisman's involved.
He was involved in the driveways, and he's accepted everything he wants. Both he and Mr. Kelly were both involved.
Okay.
And they were both adamant about getting a performance bond and agreement on this particular project.
Okay.
Did anybody have any questions on the neg deck?
No?
I would then recommend that the board adopt the EAF Part 2 and the negative declaration of impact as written.
EAF 3, right?
I'm sorry, Part 3.
No, it's okay. You're testing me. Motion, everybody okay?
Yes.
Had enough time to read it? Motion to adopt EAF Part 3.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Negative deck?
Yes, motion to adopt the negative declaration.
Motion to adopt negative deck.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
So as Brian already touched on, now that seeker's been closed, they can go back to the ZBA for a decision on those variances that they required. And then after they have the ZBA decision, they can come back here for the board to consider final approval. And of course, once they've addressed.
And that'll give me time to work through bond numbers with Brian and work through the agreement with Ms. Ball.
That's it for this one? All right. Now this, Grace,
I think Rebecca and John wanted to talk to you about that.
okay, thank you.
So if you recall at last month's meeting, the applicant came forward asking for the right at their own risk to construct portions of the road and drainage improvements. And I had a memo at that time, and John and I spoke through the requirements. And essentially the requirements were to be reduced to a written agreement. This is the written agreement. And I would just note, I can take the board through it. Would that be easier?
Yeah, just so the public knows, we're talking about the Grace subdivision off Titusville Road, and I believe it's Titusville Heights at the end. Yeah, so Titusville Road and the really bad S-turns, if you go up Titusville Heights all the way to the end, the road literally dead ends. It does not have a turnaround on it. This project would continue that road with, I believe, 6 new homes.
So that actually, so I'll just briefly, the whereas clauses identifies who the parties are to the agreement, which is the developer here in the town of Grange. It identifies the property. It notes that there is an approval from this board to subdivide the property into 6 residential lots. The developer has requested permission from the planning board to begin construction at his own risk of the proposed road and associated drainage improvements before posting a performance bond and filing the subdivision map. The next paragraph, if the board is agreeable, states the planning board agrees that the restoration bond posted by the developer in March of 2025, which dealt with some test wells and I believe some limited tree removal at the time. They posted, I believe, about $84,000. It is our recommendation to you, if you agree, that that may serve as the interim stormwater bond. And I'm adding to this paragraph, pursuant to paragraph 2 below, under this agreement, until such time as the developer posts the remaining bonding sufficient to permit the filing of the subdivision map. So the conditions that must be completed prior to the commencement of construction is 1, obtaining coverage under the Speedy's general permit for stormwater. Number 2, post the required construction completion guarantee for stormwater improvements. As I mentioned, we're going to allow them to roll over a posting that they've already made that did not need to be drawn upon. Number 3, the town highway superintendent's consent to this request. Number 4, the developer shall fund an escrow account in the amount of, and our recommendation is $5,000, to reimburse the town of LaGrange for construction oversight and inspections. This amount is an estimate only, and the town may request that this escrow account be replenished with additional funding once the amount on hand drops below $1,000. Developer understands that if work commences before all 4 items have been completed, the planning board will revoke this authorization, and the developer may be subject of a stop work order and any associated fines. I'm sorry, I realize that says fines, for undertaking site work without a valid permit. The developer shall engage the services of a licensed professional engineer who shall observe all phases of the road construction of related public improvements and shall ensure that all work is completed in accordance with the approved land development plans and the specifications. And finally, developer hereby grants the town and/or its agents the right to enter the premises at reasonable times and in a reasonable manner for periodic inspections of construction to ensure compliance with town standards and the approved plans and specifications for this project. So if that document is agreeable to you, I would just ask that you make a resolution approving it as presented to you, and then we can finalize getting signatures and satisfying those conditions with the developer.
And for the record, just a couple additional items. I have spoken with John Wisman. He hasn't fully consented yet. He wanted to see the final agreement. He wanted to make sure we had money. He wanted to make sure that we had an escrow account to cover any inspection work that he may need during the course of construction. And the reason we're seeking to roll that $84,000 over, we're going to need to do a final estimate to get a big bond to cover the road at some point in time, if and when he's ready to file the map. But once you have somebody's money already in hand, it's, and you can find a way to use it, you do. You don't have to go back through all the kind of phase on paper. Since you have the money in hand, it's a reasonable amount. It's more than adequate to cover the basics of the stormwater work they're doing. So it seemed to make sense to both Rebecca and myself to just roll it over. And that way he doesn't have to put any more cash down at this point in time.
The word fines will be changed to fines.
Yeah, I'm making that edit right
No,
now.
I wanted to make it on mine.
Sometimes I do my best proofreading after the document's inserted.
I'm okay with it. Everyone else okay with it?
Is there any indication of time when doing this work and moving forward and getting?
So they actually have motivation to get it done because they can't file the subdivision plat when they're in this state. This is a special permission that's being granted to them. Your code actually does not contemplate this. When I say special, I mean it's workable, but it's not contemplated by state law or the code that after final they would do this work to bring down their bonding amount. So they have motivation to get it done, and because they can't file the plat, they're subject to certain deadlines in the code that they would have to come in and get reapproval if they don't complete this work.
And realistically, one of the reasons that they're seeking this route is they are building a rather significant portion of Newtown Road. They are putting in several stormwater drainage facilities, some off-site work. The cost of the town bond can get to be quite high. And he's a small developer, and it's easier for him to have the work done and pay the guy, to pay the contractor, than it is to tie up that amount of money in a long-term bond. So, and that's why he wants to go this route. And he fully understands he has no ability to sell, offer for sale, or otherwise represent these lots unless and until the final bond is posted in the map is fine.
But there's no map developed, so what are they building from?
No, you do have full construction plans. He has approval with conditions.
Okay.
So we do have a complete set of drawings that have been approved by everyone. It was reviewed by the previous highway superintendent and the current highway superintendent. So we're all in agreement. So he has a full set of land development plans that he will be building from.
Got it.
And that's why we want him to have an engineer to watch it, and then we need the ability to watch it.
Great, thank you.
So this one, we're going to do a motion?
Yes, motion to approve the form of the agreement.
Okay, everybody's okay with that?
Yep.
Motion,
Motion.
second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else?
Not from me.
Motion to close the meeting.
Motion.
Second?
Aye.
All in favor? Opposed? Opposed? Time is 8:37.